Well, good morning and welcome to the MAPS 3 Citizens Advisory Board meeting for June the 27th, 2019. Carol, do you agree that we have a quorum? Then we'll call the meeting to order. You have been provided minutes of the meeting of May the 23rd. Are there additions or corrections to those minutes? Second. Been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes as presented. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The minutes are approved. You also have before you the Revenue and Expenditure Report for the period ending May the 31st, 2019, and the Budget and Obligation Report. David, any comments?
I'll go over that real quick, Mr. Chairman. So on the revenue side for the month, $19,697. Fiscal year, $5,947,749, and total $829,784,702. I will mention that the sales tax that's still coming in is reallocations, as we've seen before from the Tax Commission. On the expenditure side for the month, $12,703,327. Fiscal year, $124,634,049. And total expenditures to date of $559,288,967. You also have your budget and obligations report for the period ending June 7th, and I'll try to answer any questions if you have any.
Questions for David?
Move we accept the report.
Second. Been moved and seconded. We accept the report as submitted. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The report is received. Item 4, David?
Item 4 is a presentation on the construction progress of the Convention Center. We try to bring this to you periodically to show you what's going on. Very happy with the progress we've made on the Convention Center so far. Kevin Cook is here from Populous to give us this update, so I'd like to invite him up.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good to see you all again. It's been a few months since we've presented in front of all of you, and when David asked if we could do it this month, the timing couldn't be better because we're now officially 1 month in. This project groundbreaking was June 15th last year.
1 year.
So it's a good milestone to kind of show you what progress has happened. You can obviously, 1 year, sorry, what did I say? Yeah, sorry, so 1 year. So yes, it's really exciting to see how much they've done since June, and so we'll go through that a little bit today. So this is one of our aerial cameras looking down onto the site, and one of the things I really like about this view is you get to see all of the projects really going on. Obviously we're focusing on the Convention Center, but you can see the park is really greening up. The hotel is starting to climb. Pretty soon the hotel is going to be blocking this view for us, I believe, but we'll still be able to see the work along Robinson Street. In this view, you can see the shape of the building. You can see they're starting to put roofing on top of the building. That's the white membrane going up on top of the northwest corner of the building, and you can see the structural steel trusses and framing extending to the east over towards Shields. Another view from June 10th. This is looking back from the northeast. What you get to see here a little better is you can see the progress that's being made more along the new Broadway area of our site with our loading dock and the back side of the building, not to mention the demolition of the gold OG&E building that's been since removed, and they're finishing up some cleanup around there, which is good because that's where our building will connect to the future parking deck. This is a view of the back loading dock area. You start to see the concrete foundation walls here. The two big walls in the middle are one of the ramps that go into the exhibit hall. So those are pretty extensive for trucks to drive up into the building. You see the columns for the loading dock, and you start to see steel above and in the background for the central utility plant and the exhibit hall trusses. And then a view from the southwest corner of the building. Robinson Street there is on your left. With this, you're starting to see the end of the building, the south end of the building, and to the very right, the steel has actually gone past the image of this picture since this picture was taken with the exhibit hall trusses. You see the roof line of the steel, and you start to see some of the framing of the walls and interior spaces at level 1 and level 2. And so with this view, we can do a quick little time-lapse video from what it looked like a year ago. This is August 7th, and if you notice as this runs, there's a date in the bottom right-hand corner. One thing you'll notice a lot of in this video is the weather. There's a lot of wet days, there's some snow, but progress has moved on and transformed this site. So here we are in October. A lot of the utilities are in place and they're starting to go up with the concrete towers for the stair cores. You start to see the grade beam outline of the foundations. And here we are at the end of the year, December, the slabs starting to get poured there along the pre-function space. And then you can see the steel just quickly start to grow the shape of the building, starting there at the northwest side. We're getting into March here, and it's starting to come farther south, and you're starting to get to the top level, starting to get the roof lines. And as the top roof lines are going, there's also in the background, the exhibit hall trusses are starting to go east. And so that's where we are today, or a week or so ago. It's really exciting to see that and see the progress and believe that that much can be done. And someone mentioned at our subcommittee it'd be nice to show the next year, and we will, but this is really exciting to see that much. So just a couple quick more images. This is the northwest side of the building along Robinson Street. This is our main north meeting room block, if you remember, with the views out to the park. The curtain wall system is starting to go up. The framing, you start to see the black vertical members along the face of the building there. The shape is pretty much there. The roof is there for this end, and so this is the most farthest along piece of the building right now. And then along the south side, you can start to see the shape, the framing of all the canopies and the roof lines, and everything that's happening along the north end is starting to creep its way south. So project looking aheads, just a snapshot of some of the schedules. The steel erection is still happening. They're looking to get done here in the next couple months with steel, which is exciting. So they're wrapping up steel in F, J, and H mostly. The concrete slab along G has been done. The exhibit hall concrete slab, which would be their biggest effort for pouring concrete, which basically is all of D, E, and F, and then some of G, H, and J. That slab is going to begin in the next month. They're currently installing all of the MEP systems, fire, electrical, ductwork, all that in all of A, B, and C, the areas along Robinson Street. They're doing interior framing in those same areas for walls and rooms. The mechanical air handlers are now on the roof and in the mechanical mezzanines. So those systems have been placed, and they're starting to make connections. The roof is being installed in A, and will eventually get over to B here shortly. Exterior framing along the north facade is the most farthest along. They'll start doing some plaster work here in the next week or so. And the curtain wall installation is underway in A. So we also have a small change order this month, change order 13. There's 4 items. The first item was some conduit and wire that needed to be provided in the south parking lot area for signage pylons. That's $18,195. Item 2 is some additional scope that was added for the city's IT department. It's mostly conduit and communication infrastructure that will tie the south parking lot to the new parking garage structure that our bridge will connect to. That was $53,708. Item 3 was a mechanical air volume unit that was left off the drawings and needed to be added. That was $49.84. And item 4 is a credit. This is along 4th Street, along Omni, the Omni side of 4th Street. We had initially designed the landscaping, the sidewalk, the paving, all of that on the Omni side of the road. At the time, we didn't know what Omni was specifically doing, so we included that in our project. Since then, Omni has decided to work with us, and we've re-coordinated that area to where they can now provide the trees and sidewalk and hardscape that they want on their side. It still works with what we have designed, and so we've taken that scope away and given it to Omni, which gave us a credit of $50,000. So the total change order is $26,766, and this also includes a 5-day extension for weather for the month of May. So the new completion date is September 13th of 2020. And then just a summary of where we stand on this project with now 13 change orders and 5 amendments. Change order 13 was an increase of only 0.016% over the original amount, and all of our change orders so far is $2.178 million, which represents an increase of only 1.29% of our original amount. To be a year into the project and the steel almost done, to be only at 1.3% in change orders is good. We're doing well. And so to finish up, we have an aerial video that Flintco has done. Flintco does this about every month or so, and we asked them to provide a video for this month's presentation, so I'll let you watch this. Any questions?
I'm curious, is there a way we can put or maybe you plan to put the slideshow and the video on the MAP's website? I think it's fascinating. The public would love to see that.
Yeah, we were requested that at the last meeting. I think we'll work with our MAPS team to get the time-lapse video and
Yeah, we'll work
video
on
on
it.
there.
Appreciate the update.
Item 6 is recommend resolution approving engineering services contract with Frankfurt Short Bruja Associates, PC, MAPS 3 Convention Center Building System Commissioning, $767,353, project M3-C012. So this is what a thing that we planned all along, is to have a third-party independent commissioning agent. And what the commissioning agent does is he follows along with the contractor and watches as every piece of equipment is put in, and they test it as it goes so that we don't get a system put together and then we have a problem and have to troubleshoot and find out what's not working. So there will be people constantly there looking at not only heat and air and electrical, but the audio-visual stuff, communications, phone systems, all those different systems will have these people looking at it and following all the way through, including whenever they turn it all on and start doing the testing of it. And that way, when we're running right at the end there, when they need to have an event, things will be working and we won't have a crisis because we can't figure out how to change the thermostat in a certain part of the building. So, as I said, this is something we'd planned to do all along, and it was noted in the contract that Flintco bid on that there would be a third party, so they did not include it in their costs. And this comes with recommendation from the subcommittee.
Questions? Sue?
Just a comment that to the committee that this company, the where am I? The commissioning system, that was put through a committee. So, I mean, we had a committee that looked at.
Right, that's a good point. It was They interviewed just like consultant selection does, just like regular engineers and architects do, and there were 3 that were interviewed, and these guys were chosen.
Michael?
David, I think that's a great idea. Just curious, has this been done in any other projects by the city using this kind of party where folks come in?
I believe that the police headquarters did. We haven't done it on wellness centers or anything like that because they are nowhere near as complicated as this. It may be something we start looking at to see if it's cost effective for even some of the smaller buildings.
David, what about the park with all their sprinklers and lighting and water features and all that stuff? Are we doing anything like that there?
No, that's really on the contractor, and the reason why it's not as critical is because as soon as they plant those plants, those systems have to be up and running then. They don't turn it all on kind of like what we will with the convention center. And it's really just not as complicated as some of these systems because there's building automation systems computers that control dampers and airflow and all those things that are much more complicated than what we've got in the park.
Been moved and seconded, we approve it. I just add this one comment. This was discussed in a spirited way in our subcommittee as well, and lots of interesting questions asked. I'd want you to feel comfortable that this has been reviewed carefully, and the subcommittee not only endorsed it, but thinks it's a really good idea for us to do this. You agree with that, Sue? Yes. All right. It's been moved and seconded. As many in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. Thank you. Item 7, David.
Item 7 is a recommend joint resolution approving change order number 10, Maps 3 Scissor Tail, Upper Park, increase of $60,543.46, project M3-P006/WC-0920. So pretty much a routine change order during construction. There's some signage modification that the Scissor Tail Foundation wanted to make. And then also some signage for the survivor tree that was added down there. Item 2 is some additional electrical equipment in the cafe. And then the main item on this is item 3. We've had a lot of challenges with various things at the park because of the living plants, and it's rained so much it's pushed their schedule to plant trees into a hot part of the year that you don't usually plant trees, but you can with certain cautions, and one of those is this gel. They'll put the gel around the tree's root ball as they transport it to hold the moisture so that it doesn't dry, and then they can get them planted. But then also with that is you'll notice that there's a lot of areas down there that look finished but don't have grass, and it's because the grass that was to be put in and was bid and was going to go is under about 6 feet of water in Bixby right now. So we've had to go to an alternative supplier, and there were some additional costs on that. So that's what this covers, so we can get the grass out there before it gets too hot, and also so we can continue to plant these trees so we can meet our opening date.
Do you have any comment from the subcommittee?
We brought this up at our meeting yesterday, although we did not have a quorum. Everyone in attendance there supports bringing this to you today for approval. And in addition to the gel, Hargraves told us yesterday about some tablets that are also being put in there to control bacteria because of all the water in the soil, so it'll further enhance the health of those trees during the hot days to come. So I do recommend approval.
Further questions for David or Jim or Mike? Shall we approve it?
Item 8 is recommend resolution ratifying and approving addenda numbers 1 and 2, maps 3, Oklahoma River Whitewater Facility electrical capacitors, awarding contract to Libra Electric Company $329,069, and approving contract and bonds project M3-R009A. If you'll recall, this is one of the items that the additional money was set up to purchase. Right now, the boathouse, or the Riversport Rapids, is receiving a surcharge for capacity of power that OG&E has to have in there, because when they turn the pumps on, it hits the system so hard that it can bring the grid down. These capacitors would provide basically a shock absorber, an electrical shock absorber in there to prevent that, and then they can get rid of this surcharge that they have to pay OG&E for this excess capacity. And we anticipate within 3 to 5 years that surcharge, not paying that surcharge, will pay for this item here.
Questions for David? Been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved.
07. It is a big number for an increase, but it's a whole lot of work, and a lot of this work, the majority of this work, comes out of the State Safety Office requirements that we've gotten from ODOT as we've continued on with this. There's certain things that they want to meet the requirements, and one of the largest things is a criteria manual. So we have to provide a manual that has all the standard drawings and all the text that explains how we design the streetcar, how it operates, all those different aspects down to every pretty much nut and bolt that they require. Then also this is going to provide engineering services for bidding for, if you've noticed, we still have the yellow fence on the leaning rails, and we've got to put some divisors in that. So this provides engineering and bidding services to bid those projects out. We've got to do the bumpers on the stops. We've got to put skirting around the traction-powered substation. So there's a whole lot of things that still need to be done that are just kind of cleanup issues that the State Safety Office wants.
David, a couple of things to help us with here. The state office is involved because the federal transportation folks have delegated that responsibility to them to license this, right?
That's correct.
So we are complying with the federal rules as delegated to the state authority for us to do this.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So we'll be complying with both of those. And then secondly, where's the money coming from for this? This is from excess fund?
It's not the excess funds, it's a contingency account that was within the streetcar project. So it's not new money. It's not even out of the new money that was approved a couple of months ago. It's still within our construction contingency amount.
Thank you. Nathaniel, anything you want to add?
Yeah, this was our only item on our agenda yesterday, and we spent quite a bit of time on it and had some concerns, but yeah, it really is just stemming from the vast majority of it stemming from just complying with safety requirements and finishing that up. And so, I mean, the project's already been approved for. It's already been formally accepted, but this is just to comply with the safety requirements. So, with that, we had quorum yesterday, and we unanimously approved recommendations. So I'd move to do so today.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. We approve the resolution as presented. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It's approved. Item 10, David.
Item 10 is recommend resolution approving amendment number 11, MAPS 3 Program Consultants Services Contract with ADG PC. Fee increase of $1,571,630.16, retroactive to July 1st, 2019, project M3-G001. The reason it's retroactive is because when that gets to council, it will be after July 1st. So that's just a technicality. As you probably remember, ADG works with us hand in glove with everything we do. They currently have people full-time out there on the park working with the contractor. They have somebody full-time at the convention center working with that. Then they have people that work on on various projects that support what we do. They check our plans when they come in. And then this fee also is an increase because of these additional projects that we've been talking about, the additional streetcar stuff that we just mentioned, additional things that are happening at the river to help us do estimates and check plans. So it's right in line with what we've done for the past 9 years, I believe.
Any questions for David about that?
Mr. Chairman, I'm curious, since this is a prospective fee for the next year and even down to a precise 32-cent number, I'm curious how you arrive at a projected number, and then at the end of each year, are we going back to audit to see what services have actually been performed for that contract?
Right. What we do is we look at what we've got coming up in the year, and then we have ADG put together their manpower hours, and I review those and make sure that they look reasonable and what we're going to do. And then as they bill us, as they fill out their claims, they list what they've done, and I have several people who check that and see, yes, they did this, yes, they did this. So that's how we do that.
I've got to prepare budgets for clients I represent all the time. It's very, very difficult to do, to project ahead how much time you may spend on a project because there's so many variables to it. And I was just curious how such a precise number was arrived at, and then look at it after the end of the year to make sure that we haven't underpaid them or overpaid them.
Right. Yeah, we definitely do that, but I think the reason it came out of odd cents is because percentages were used, and we just left it and stood around in it.
Okay, thank you.
Been moved and seconded that we approve it. I want to take just a moment here to say that, as David's already mentioned, ADG has been a great partner for us for 9 years, and we do have that history with them to project the work that's going to be required, and we also have the advantage of being able to project the quality of the work that's going to be, and they've been excellent partners for us throughout this project, and I think it's fair to say we wouldn't be as far along if we didn't have them. They have been, particularly when you have a Citizens Advisory Board without the expertise to oversee all of these things, and they have been a tremendous help to us in supplementing what the staff does. And I just have to say I want to compliment ADG for the work they've done for the past 9 years, and we're counting on them to help us bring this battleship home. So look forward to working with you in the days ahead. Any other questions? All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. David, next item.
We don't have any new business.
Okay, that brings us then to item 12, the subcommittee reports. I'm going to start by asking Kim if she'd like to, all these exciting announcements happening this week about the park. You want to tell us what's going on with your subcommittee?
Well, I'm sure by now almost everyone through many media outlets has learned, especially through announcement from Mayor David Holt, that our opening day concert for Subcommittee Park is set for the 27th of September. Kings of Leon, which is a very well-renowned Oklahoma band, will be playing, and I couldn't be more thrilled. It's actually the same band that I was able to see at the Chesapeake Center Arena in one of their very first concerts, so we're thrilled about that. In conjunction with that opening night, certainly the celebration for opening will ensue the entire weekend, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Saturday the 28th is going to be filled with a lot of family events and a lot of bands celebrating all the cultural diversity of Oklahoma, with more festivities ending on Sunday. So we are very proud to be able to make this announcement and thrilled that Kings of Leon will be at this time. We saw a presentation yesterday giving us an update of what's going on in the upper park, and certainly there has been great progress made throughout all the challenges of the rainy months that we've seen ahead. It's amazing to see how much progress has been able to be done. At this time, we're looking at maybe putting in some night work or evening work to compensate for some of the days so that we can keep our schedule moving forward. And the survivor tree that was planted in April is doing quite well.
has described this as kind of a coming out for MAPS 3 for all of the projects. This will be obviously one that would attract perhaps the largest crowd we'll have for any of the ribbon cuttings or openings, and so there'll be, as Tim has already said, number of events over several days, including there'll be a ribbon cutting and a luncheon where I'm sure each of you will be invited. And so if you note those dates that Kim has put on, as mentioned, put those on your calendar. It's still a work in progress, but there's going to be there will be a lot of activities going on during that period of time, and really looking forward that with the mayor and city council to be celebrating the park as well as the totality of MAPS 3. Kim?
I was also going to say that if you're a social media buff, you can follow Scissortail Park on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also now visit the website that's been launched for the park at scissortailpark.org.
Thank you, Kim. Any other subcommittees need to make a report today?
Just a real quick one from the streetcar. So we got an update since we hadn't met in a while about travel time around the route, because we've seen a lot of the traffic signal improvements happen, so we were curious. And very pleased to report that we're down to 39-minute cycle time, down from, I think, the high 40s, 50-minute. And we're not even all the way done with the traffic signal improvements, but that's a significant improvement. So just wanted to thank you all for the support and in that effort to try to get to achieve our goal with the travel time. And also the ridership, especially recently, has been tremendous. So we're very pleased with that.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Anyone else? Okay, then, in your packet, there's an informational item. As this, we have a new person for a job that takes on added importance and significance as every year passes. And that is, who's going to be the vice chairman of this group for another year to fill in when the chairman isn't here, as Father Time marches on here. Anyway, tell us who that is, David.
It'll be Cecilia Robinson Woods.
And she is so excited about it that she's decided to take this month off to rest up for what's ahead. Okay. Okay, item 19. David, do you have anything you want to add about an update?
Just real quick, at the river, we're doing design on those new projects that we got money allocated for, so those should be forthcoming in the next couple months. Senior Wellness site, Senior Wellness number 3 and 4, both site selection is continuing on those. Hope to get those going real soon. Draper Trail has been hindered a little bit with the rain and the weather that we've received, but they're making good progress now and hope to have that open at the end of July. We discussed briefly the convention center. We believe all the steel will be up and finished at the end of July also, so they're making great headway. We have projects in design at the fairgrounds, some additional things for the Bennett Event Center. We talked a lot about the park here. Luckily, it's stopped raining for a while there also, so we can get some things done. That's pretty much it.
Questions for David? All right, then. That brings us to item, is that 15? Any comments by members of the board? Any comments from our esteemed councilman?
The only thing I'd say is that we all know how talented David Todd is. And tonight you have a chance to see one of his other talents when he performs as a musician at 6 o'clock this evening at the Manhattan Restaurant. So I encourage everyone to come out and see his other talents.
There was a question that was submitted from the audience, David, and that was, is there a cover charge?
There is not.
Good, then I think you can expect a great crowd. Okay. Any comments from staff? Oh, Bob, I'm sorry.
Just a quick comment. I may have said this before, but my firm provides me a very nice office on the southwest corner of the Bank First Tower, the 29th floor. I have this marvelous view of the construction of the Omni and the Convention Center and the park. It's very difficult to get work done because I'm always looking at my window to see what's going on, and I can't pass through our reception area that has some big glass windows overlooking that same area without having to explain to somebody what's going on over there on the construction site. People are fascinated by it, and I'm very privileged to get that chance whenever I can to point out what's happening and all the progress we're making. What a marvelous thing MAPS 3 is and has been and will continue to be for the city. And I'm very fortunate to have that view and that opportunity to tell people all about it.
In that regard, I do want to thank the staff, J. Jerome Gamble, who is on the Park Subcommittee, arranged a tour for Judy Love's birthday in conjunction with them announcing a significant gift, and David and his staff did a great job of showing them around the park, and there's a lot of teamwork goes into making all these things happen, and David, really appreciate you and your staff. I know that you get a lot of opportunities to try to arrange those sort of things, but without a doubt it's helpful and great for the public to get to see this and know about it, and really appreciate that. Okay, staff, any other comments for staff? All right, are there citizens here that would like to be heard today? Hearing none, that brings us to item 16. Michael Adams has moved that we adjourn, and Nathaniel Harding has seconded it. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We're adjourned. Thank you. Thanks.